Orient Triton, or Neptune as some refer to it. This thing is a beast. It's literally a tank, and it's an ISO certified diver. Well, actually it's a Japan Industrial Standard certified. It's kind of like the Japanese equivalent to the ISO. And this thing, this watch already discontinued. I can see why it's so popular with watch collectors. I bought this like 2 years ago. I'm sorry, like 1 year ago, and I got it for a smoking deal, new old stock. Got it for in US dollars, if I recall correctly, $170 new old stock a year ago. Just came the watch with stickers underneath and stickers in the bracelet. No box, but I think it's still a great deal because these, well, new, I think it's like $500 to $600. It retails like for $600 to $700. So this is a step up from the regular Orients like the Kamasu and the Meiko, because it has a more premium movement and other special things which I'll look into detail. So this watch has the 40 and 5 movement. As you can see, it has a power reserve. At this price point, it's pretty hard to find a diver or a watch with a power reserve. Usually they're more expensive, and the numbers are just phenomenal on this movement. This movement that this Orient houses is appears on more expensive Orient divers like Saturation divers and from other premium lines from Orient Star. Nowadays Orient does not, the regular Orient, not Orient Star, they don't house this movement, nor does it have a power reserve. If you want those features, you will have to go to the OS, Orient Star. So I believe this watch first happened on the scene in 2017, 2018, and it was discontinued around 2020, 2021. Someone can please confirm me if those years are correct. I think it's something like that, 2 to 3 years. So it's a short run. There were other versions. There's this one, there's a blue version, and there's an all black version. Honestly, I've never been like a fan of gold tone watches unless it's solid gold, because with years the gold tone, unless it's solid, it'll like turn to silver or gray. But I mean, for the price I got this for $170 in the old stock, I can live with this gold tone because there's so many unique features that this watch has. It's so robust. It's a very big watch, 43 millimeters, 51 lug to lug, 13.6 thickness, and 22 lug width. So, but it does appear a bit smaller on the wrist. I will do later a wrist shot. I have a 6.5 inch wrist, 16.5 centimeters, so it's pretty small, but this is just on the limits of what I can pull on the wrist. So it has a printed, as you can see, printed dial. The indices are applied. The Loom Is Fantastic. I will do a Loom shot. One complaint I have is that the minute hand is a bit short. I wish it were a bit longer. But yeah, the Loom Is Fantastic, and this has, the alignment is spot on, as opposed to the most Seikos. The alignment is pretty spot on. If I can focus this. There are some cues, I think, from other watches, specifically maybe the SKX. You can have some influence. The crown here is exactly at 4 o'clock. Now, modern Seiko divers aren't exactly there. They're at 345. Vintage Seikos like the 7002 and 7548 and the Turtle 6309 and 6, those were exactly at 4 o'clock. I wish modern Seiko divers would go back to that original position. The crown is signed. Let me see here. Focus. It's a very nice touch. Drilled lugs. The finishing, the high polish is really, really solid and premium. I think this competes and probably exceeds many Seiko prospect divers. This is like a competitor to the Sumo, but yeah, I think this competes and probably exceeds many of them, because there aren't, not that I know of, any divers, Seiko divers in the prospect range, like under 1,000, that have a power reserve or sapphire. I believe the Sumo and the King Turtles and Samurais, those have sapphire as well, but there's a ton of prospect divers that have hard licks still. So I really like the case back too. It looks like milled. Let me see if I can focus this a bit more. Yeah, that's a really, really nice case back. The attention to detail on this model is really good. Epson, and furthermore, there's a made in Japan on the dial. On the dial, the front dial, it's Japan, and on the case back, a made in Japan. So this is technically a JDM watch. Now, is it actually made in Japan? Who knows? Probably many parts are sourced in China and elsewhere, but it is nice to have a JDM watch. And so it has sapphire crystal with AR coating, so that's really nice. I think one really good thing of this watch is the bezel action is really solid, really. If you can listen to that, it's really crisp. Really, I love how this is. Screw down crown. A lot of people complain that when pulled out, it's a little bit wobbly and loose. So I am aware of that. I think the stem is a little bit thin, so I am aware, and I will try not to do too much force, with it, so that I don't have any issues later on. But so far, it's been working great, this watch. So right now I have it in Uncle Seiko rubber strap. Might do a review of that later on. It does come with its OEM bracelet is with solid links and solid end links. However, I found it, and many others found it, very uncomfortable. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable. So I almost immediately swapped it out for a rubber bracelet. I might get a strap code bracelet. There is a strap code version specifically for this model. However, it's really pricey. It's over 3 digits. It's $100 and something. So I'm not sure if it's worth it. Also, I've read that if you have a small wrist, that strap code bracelet will make the lug to lug a little bit longer, so be aware of that. Also be aware that this is a really heavy watch. It's pretty hefty on the wrist. Some people find that as a positive, to have a chunky piece of metal, of steel. They equate that to quality. Some people don't like titanium for that reason, but it is pretty heavy. Even as I have it right now on rubber, it's like 130 grams. I have watches with bracelets that weigh more, like the Monster bracelet. but this weighs more, even though technically this is weighs less on the rubber than other watches. Because of the chunk of metal, it's all centered on the wrist. It will feel quite heavy on the wrist, so be aware of that. But yeah, I'm really happy with this watch. I don't think I'll ever leave this from my collection. This is my only Orient, and I couldn't have found another one. How did I find this? Well, I was just walking, one day, and I found I found a jewelry store. Just I many times check out just jewelry stores or pawn shops, and just check different watches to see what they have. Many times there's fakes, there's Frankens, or there's models but too expensive. But yeah, you never know what you'll find, and I found this gem for the price I told you, and wow, I couldn't believe it. When I first saw this, I didn't know much about this model, but as soon as I saw Divers 200 on the dial, I thought, wow, I've never seen this model with the power reserve. So I went home and investigated a bit more, researched this model, and just a few days later I immediately bought it, since I saw how the MSRP for this watch and what it was going for on the market. I was a bit afraid that it would be too big on the wrist, but here it is on my 6.5-inch wrist. Here it is on the Uncle Seiko GL831 rubber. This is just on the limits of my 6.5-inch wrist. Gladly I have like a flat wrist on the top, so that works. But yeah, I'm just on the top, my limit. Here is the loom of the Triton. As you can see, it's really good. I think it's this is at the level of any Seiko diver. It's really solid, and as you can see, the power reserve is also lightly illuminated, so I think that's a very nice detail. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this review, this 2023 review with the Orient Triton, or Neptune as referred to. I've had this for 1 year now, and I love it, so thank you.